First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to the Zhong Rinpoche. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Thupten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of Homa today, the White Lotus King. Simu, Thupten Sipi Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Our participating VIPs today are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the Taipei rep to Norway and Sweden, Madam my Sister Judy. The legislator or lawmaker, Ms. Xi Su-hua. And from the legislator Ma Wen-jun's office, the Chief Secretary, Mr. Wang. From Academia Sinica of Taiwan, Professor Zhu Ziyi and Mrs. Zhu. The former Chief Secretary of the Taiwan government, Mr. Zheng Pei-fu and Mrs. Zheng. And from the Taoyuan Municipal Government, the Deputy Director of the Luzhou branch, Mr. Li and Mrs. Li. From the police station. And law advisors to True Buddha Foundation, Ms. Jennifer Zhou, Mr. Luo and Ms. Huang. And the members of the True Buddha School Scholars Group and Medical Group. From Chao Tun, the Guan Yin Temple, from the Dharma Gate of Yisung, the teacher Geng San, from United Arab Emirates, the royal family of the Greenfield Group, the President Lin. Datuk from Malaysia, Ms. Datuk Kenneth Loy, and the Datin Chen Mei-ting, and their daughter Lei Qian. And from Malaysia, the Datuk Li Hai-an, the Mrs. Li Qing, Latin. And from Malaysia, the Latin Turfei. And from Malaysia, the Datuk Li Mingguang and the Latin Chen Meihua. The General Manager of Jingyi Enterprise, Ms. Zhang. MSN Airline, the CEO, Mr. Wu, and the General Manager, Miss Zhou.
周嘉玲小姐。木雕艺术家简
The wood
正熙
sculptor
先生。
Mr. Jian.
马来西亚著名艺
And
人
from Malaysia,
秦
a
文
well-known
彬小姐。
entertainer, Miss Qin Wenbing.
My university same classmate 朱金水先生及夫人陈哲佳女士。
Mr. and Mrs. Zhu Jinsui.
华光功德会总会长及
The
大
president
同
of the
南九师弟
Worldwide Lotus Light Charity Society, Lamdre and Sutra Perfect Enlightenment, Master Lian Yue.
My sister 卢胜美女士。 My sister 卢国英女士 and husband。 文莱海山纪念中心
From
42位
Brunei,
同门。
the Haisan Jingyan Center, for a total of 72 fellow
中天
disciples.
电视台给你点上心灯节目制作人徐雅琪师姐。
And the producers for Illuminating Your Heart from CTI-TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi.
陈明师兄。
And we thank you to Dharma Brother Chen Ming from Malaysia for his donation of $108,355 NT dollars.
香港
To Dharma Sister Zheng Yaozu from Hong Kong for her donation of 100,000 NT dollars.
香港
To Dharma Sister Zheng Shaolin
10万元。
from Hong Kong for her donation 100,000 NT dollars.
香港日行一善功德群大载10万元。
The merit group for performing a good deed once a day from Hong Kong for their donation 100,000 NT dollars.
大载10万元。
And to Lianhua Su Ying from Singapore for donation of 100,000 NT dollars.
这个明天2019年4月28日
On April 28th, 2019, Sunday at 2 p.m.,
高雄
Grandmaster will be in Kaohsiung
天灾度母
to preside over
大会。
the grand ceremony for country protection of Tara, who averts natural disasters.
高雄展
It
览
will
馆
be held at the
不是
South
场地，
Hall of the Kaohsiung Exhibition Center.
也就是
It's different from last year, please note.
地址是高雄市
And the address is
成功
Kaohsiung City, Shenzhen District, Chengkong 2nd Section, number 35.
区成功2路39号。
So number 39 of the Chengkong Road, Section 2
共沐佛
of
恩。
Kaohsiung City.
那么
We welcome your participation and registration so that you will be showered by the Buddha's light.
到高雄去
So
参加
please go to Kaohsiung tomorrow
救天灾度母
to
的
attend the ceremony of Tara, who averts natural disaster.
另外，世界华光功德会
And the Worldwide Lotus Light Charity
5
Society
月5日
on May 5th, 2019, on Sunday
9点
at 9 a.m.
是举办
at the Lu-Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple will
5
organize.
月5号是星期天嘛？
May 5th is a Sunday, right? Yes.
举办2019年
There will be the annual 2019 annual through the school Lotus Light event. It would include a star show of all Taiwan. And also some competitions for the native arts shows. And also competitions for photo or movie shootings and other competitions. And there would be tea served. So I welcome all of you to come here to get together for old times and to enjoy the show and to continue the lineage. So good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
Selamat petang. Sawadika, kamsahamnida, cảm ơn, and domo, konnichiwa. Good afternoon. Tối chị, sáu chị. Merci beaucoup. Hola, amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sukoin ichiban kimochi ii. This is the last talk in Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple because next month 5 I go back to Seattle, American. Because the Taiwan temperature is high, and do you know the air is too bad and no good. I miss my son and daughter and grandson. Granddaughter. I miss the Seattle air. Seattle air is so clean. It's very nice. And Seattle have the mountain and the lake. And so many trees. I miss Sammamish Lake, Washington Lake, and the North Bend, the Truck Town, Lu-Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple, and the Seattle Temple. Welcome, everybody. Sunburn tour, Sunburn tour, Sunburn vacation, Sunburn tour. Come to the Seattle. Thank you for coming. 那么今天我们是做的是
So today
白天花
we perform the Homa grand ceremony of White Lotus King. And as we all know, that the White Lotus King was first transmitted in Hong Kong.
它是香巴拉，也就是一个净土。这个
Shambhala is the Pure Land.
是属于修行人的净土。
It is the Pure Land for spiritual cultivators, or sadhakas. The first king of Shambhala was Manjusri Bodhisattva. And the second king was the White Lotus King. And he authored a very famous treatise called the Immaculate Light Treatise. The White Lotus King, of course, was one of the main deity of Grandmaster's lineage, the king of the White Lotus. Right now in Samsara, in the Saha world, there are many of his lineages. And the Immaculate Light Treatise is the tantric dharma of Kalachakra. That was the mantra. Om Ha Kamala Valaya Soha. So the treatise belongs to the Kalachakra. The whole country was a Buddha land, a pure land, and everybody was practicing Kalachakra. And we all know about the origin of Kalachakra. At the Sakyamuni Buddha's time, he was at the Lingsan, and then he went to a place called Danya Kataka, and there was a king in the Shambhala kingdom called the King Durjaya, and he went to the Sri Danyataka Kataka and met Sakyamuni Buddha, who was expounding on the Kalachakra Tantra. So the King Durjaya brought back the Kalachakra Tantra to the Shambhala kingdom, and ever since the Shambhala kingdom, the people of Shambhala kingdom all practice Kalachakra. So that was the Pure Land of Kalachakra. There was a song called the Shangri-La, and actually Shangri-La is the same as Shambhala. And in Hong Kong, there is the Shangri-La Hotel. So that's Shangri-La, the same as Shambhala, so we can also call it Shambhala Hotel. So that's Buddha land or Pure Land. So today, by practicing the White Lotus King, if you have attainments, you can go to the Buddha land,
大家知道了。
and not only Shambhala Buddha land. As we all know, the realm of Avatamsaka is that each Pure Land is interconnected with other Pure Lands. So once you go to the Shambhala Pure Land, you can also go to the Pure Land of the West or to the East, the realm of the Pure Land of the Medicine Buddha, or you can go to the Buddha Loka Pure Land, or you can go to the Pure Land of Green Tara, the Pure Land of Pure Joy, or you can go to the Tushita Pure Land of Maitreya Bodhisattva, or the Cui Wei Pure Land. The fragile jade Pure Land, and many other Pure Lands of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and you can go anywhere. So it was recorded in the Amitabha Sutra. It was stated that any spiritual cultivator there, they can reach all the Pure Lands of the all Pure Lands of the 10 directions. So this is the realm of no hindrances, unhindered realm. Once you go to the Pure Land, it is completely unhindered. So the second king of Shambhala was the White Lotus King. And the way to practice, the mudra is the same as Grandmaster's mudra. It's the lotus holding mudra. And he looks very marvelous and remarkable, very natural. Naturally sitting on the white lotus, the mudra is the same as Padma Kumara in the mantra. The mantra, I also chanted Soha. Actually, it's Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom, Om Beja Sambala Guru Padma Hom. But I chanted Soha, which means perfect or completed. But if you chant Hom, then that would be different. Hom generates a kind of power. Hom is a kind of power. The Tibetan 5 Herukas, their 6 syllables are Hom. They're all the same. Hom, like Mahotara Heruka, Kalachakra, Yamantaka, Hevajra, Chakrasamvara, Guyasamaya. Then 6 Herukas, Guyasamaya, Hevajra, Chakrasamvara, Kalachakra, Mahotara, and Yamantaka. All of their 6 syllables are Hom. Hom represents power, a kind of power. And before, that was what I chanted, and that's okay too if you use Soha. It means completion, but Hom means power. And the White Lotus King was also the white Mahapadma Kumara. There is no difference between the two.
你修行如果修莲花童子法。
If in your spiritual cultivation you practice Padma Kumara Dharma practice and the White Lotus King Dharma practice, then you would have these attainments. Then you will become the Padma Kumara deity. Second, you will be reborn in the Pure Land. Third, and parents and relatives from all lifetimes will attain liberation and be reborn in the Buddha land. So it is very beneficial to our own family and relatives. As I said in the Rainbow Temple, my own ancestors and parents from past lives were all birth delivered successfully. And when I completed it all, there was one who
我一个大伯父的女儿的先生，他姓许，叫喜福气。
Who objected it? And it's
科长喜福气出来抗议，他说
my uncle's daughter's husband. And he protested because everybody had been birth delivered except me. I am the only one, so I realized there was one left. That was she. So my elder sister's husband, Xu Huqi. So and then finally I birth delivered him too. Mr. Xu. So parents and relatives for many lifetimes would gradually be delivered and reborn in the Buddha land. And by practicing this Dharma, you will attain the wisdom of the Tathagata. And what is that? Let me tell you. There are two great wisdoms. The first one, everything in this world has no self-nature, no intrinsic nature, no intrinsic self. Second, that the beginning of all affinities, the beginning of everything, starts from emptiness. These are the wisdom of the Tathagata. The Tathagata has great wisdom, and this kind of wisdom can let you see your own inner light. You will be able to see your own light. And your actions and behaviors are totally unhindered. This belongs to the wisdom of the Tathagata. If you're reborn in the human world, then you would be a Dharma king with great wisdom or prajna. And you would have transcendent and supernatural power to subdue the four maras. Recently, I have a spiritual response or spiritual responses that's very strange. Every time I'm seated on my Dharma's throne, when the White Lotus King and his retinue entered into my body, when all of them entered into my body, I realized that my body was trembling, including all the vital energy inside my body. It's all trembling, and there was a kind of power that is trying to lift me up, to raise me to the sky. I felt it last week, like my whole body was trembling and it was being lifted up. And today I felt it too. You know, let me tell you, one day, eventually, when all the deities entered into my body, when all the deities enter into my body, I become the power of all the deities. My body becomes a mandala, an altar, and I became the main deity, and the altar is round. That inside is round and it's square outside. So inside it's a round prajna light surrounding me, and all the deities enter into my body and they gather all their powers and be in union with myself. Then at this time I would be able to rise from this Dharma throne and I would be giving Dharma teaching in the air, floating in the air. I only understood it now, last week, when your body is completely immaculate, completely uncontaminated, when your body, speech and mind are completely pure, when all the deities in the sky enter into your body, at this moment you are completely in union with all the deities, and you transform to become a prajna light around you, and you are the main deity. By the power of the prajna light and all the deities would lift you up and you would rise and float in the air. It would even lift the seat, the throne. The spiritual experience last week was the strongest. I felt a kind of power that kept lifting me up. And one day I would be able to rise into the sky, the air, and float in the air. In the past, there was a Dharma master who asked me, in Tantrayana, why the lineage gurus of the past could fly or float or travel in the sky. Why were there records of this happening to the lineage gurus of the past? Let me tell you, Machik Lamdre, when she was practicing in Chimbu, and when she was about to leave, when all the deities entered into her body, she could float and rise above ground a few inches, and she could travel, walked back and forth in the air. The same with Milarepa. He could travel, floating in the air. It turned out when all the deities entered into your body, and when the power of all the deities in union with you, then you become the prajna light and you would be able to rise and float in the air. That's why. And I realized it last week. Why didn't Grandmaster show us? Why can't you just show us now? You know, if I show you, then that would be quite a sensation. That would be incredible. Everybody in this world will take refuge in me, will follow me. You have to wait until one day. Why do we have to wait? Because we should not show that to mislead or dilute people or delude people. If I do that, say if I fly from here to the mid-air above the fire pit, then all the people of the Cao Tun town would come and look and take refuge. And then also from the whole county of Nantou, and then from the whole province of Taiwan, and then everybody from the world would take refuge. And at that time, if I want to run for a president of any country, it would be okay. Why? Because I became Superman. Superman with supernatural power. So we listened to Xu Souhua to give a speech earlier. And in Kaohsiung, she was expecting the superwoman. But today, if I become this Superman, then what's played in the movie would be faked, but now it's a real one. Then I would be the same as Jesus Christ. When Jesus Christ was resurrected, he floated in the air, and he was also a great guru. Jesus was. And the pure light of the Buddha could also rise in the air and revolves. And the Pindolu in the Saha world, which is the Arhat with the long brows, he was trying to show off his transcendent power to entice people. So he liked to show off his supernatural power. So someone placed his back at the highest point of a tree. And many people enticed these arhats. Hey, you all have supernatural power. Why couldn't you just get the back? You know, just fly in the air and get the back down. All the other arhats who had attainments were just kept quiet and ignored it, except Pindolu, which is the one with the white long brows. He rised and flew in the air to the top of the tree and got the back down. Once he did that, the Buddha was very angry. How could you use your supernatural power just for show? Just for show. So, and the Buddha punished him. So how could I do it just for show? So once I fly to the air, I will not dare to come down, because if I come back down, then I would be doing it just for show to delude people. But one day I will show it to you.
另外有一点，我告诉你，我显化在各个地方。
And there's another point. I manifest in many other places. There was a nurse last night. Oh, I mean, there was a true story last night. There's an Indonesian lady who's very beautiful. That the person from the Sumeru Lei Tsang temple in Manado. Is he here? Yes. And that lady from Indonesia is outside, right? Yes. Please be seated. So we will not mention her name. There's this beautiful, extremely beautiful Indonesian lady. And due to some small matter, and where was she? Does the Dharma lecturer know? She was at the hotel in Surabaya, and she took lots of strong tranquilizer or sleeping pills and swallowed them all. And then she was taken to the hospital, and the doctors at the hospital said they couldn't save her, she's dead. And her soul left her body. And you know where the soul went? The soul went to the netherworld, to the city of death, I guess. And then Grandmaster appeared in front of her, and I just told her, go back. You go back. And so her soul returned to her shell, the body, and she came back to life. And she's outside now. Her name was...
讲师呢？哦，她的名字叫做小慧。
小慧。
她的名字叫小慧，是印尼人，是印尼。她是印尼吗？还是印尼的华侨
？Is she native Indonesian or Chinese Indonesian? Chinese Indonesian. And her name is Xiao Hui.
我以前也有一个女朋友叫做小慧。
Oh, what a coincidence! I had a girlfriend called Xiao Hui as well.
师母的脸就变得很青。
Oh, Simu's face turned green. But let me tell you, it's been a long, long time ago. That Xiao Hui from the past is now in Japan. And she's an old lady now. So Simu, please be rest assured. I'm always in the best term with Simu. We're a good match, the best match. Always the best. So the past has passed. And the present will become the past. And the future will become the present. And then the present will become the past. So nothing is attainable. So there's no need for you to worry. Even we will also become the past. So it's no big deal. If, because Xiao Hui is extremely beautiful, I manifested to save her. If had it been Master Hui Jun, if I appeared in front of Master Hui Jun, I will not even look at her, as she would roll back by herself automatically. 她也被世人救过。
因为那小姐真的长得很美的哦，这个小慧师姐真的是。
Because that lady is truly beautiful. That my sister Xiao Hui. Her eyes are eyes, her nose is nose, her mouth is mouth.
昨天我走过去看了她一眼。
So last night, as I walked by, I took a look at took a glance at her. But my dear has been dead long ago. Now let me read from Lamdre. Oh, it's only 6:45. That's still early. So what is the extensive and training and practice divided into two, external words and internal words. And for the external words, we have 9 body orifices or openings. Actually, 3 more. 1 for the nose, 2 for the eyes, that's 3, 1 for the mouth, 4, and 2 for the ears, 6, and the navel, 7, and where the water exits, and then the place where the poo comes out, that would be a total of 9. So 9 body openings are closed off with 9 characters or syllables. And what is the path of the grain? You know where the grains exit? It's okay. The anus, we can just say it directly. So if the soul leaves the body through the anus, then one will fall into the sideways, like chickens, ducks, goose, cows, goats, horses. So that's the animals, the animal realm. Therefore, you have to seal it. You need to visualize at the anus there is a mundus, and on top of it there is a white syllable in an upright position. And if the soul leaves through the water path, what is the water path? It's where you excrete water. Very simply. Where you pee. So it says the water path, the grain path. So these names were just created. So if the soul leaves through the water path, then one will fall into hell. So you visualize a syllable, a yellow syllable, upright on the mundus on it. If one leaves through the navel, one will go to the heavenly realm of desire or the human realm. And on top of the navel, there's a red syllable on the mundus, upright or flat. And if the soul leaves through the mouth, one will become the hungry ghost in the hungry ghost realm. Therefore, at the tip of the tongue, there is a white Sanskrit syllable on the mundus, where its head seals the opening or lay flat on it. If the soul leaves through the two nostrils, one will be born as a yaksa, which is the ghost with great power. If through the right nostril, there would be the yaksa king. Through the left nostril, there would be a yaksa commoner. Therefore, use the yellow syllable with it on the mundus, yellow, with its head sealing the opening or lying flat on top of it. And through both eyes will be reborn as a human being. But non-human is ghost. So, through ears we become non-human. To seal it, place a red syllable. And through the brow point, one will be born as a heavenly realm of form, and use a white syllable on the mundus upside down. Through the top knot, one will be born as the formless heavenly realm, and use a white syllable on mundus sitting upside down. Visualizing more than 2 syllables and follow naturally according to one's karma, visualizing them upright or laying flat, there is always a mundus between the syllable and the opening. The above is the Dharma practices that are common in the race empowerment. Practice these 9 syllables in meditation 4 times daily for 7 days. The pure heat will be as if seeing the lines in one's palm. And for the internal words, if by relying on the Kundalini in a fire of the 4 wheels, inside the right and left channels, there are 16 ali or vowels, upright and red in color, with the gali or consonants upside down and white in color, both alternately lining up the chi of both channels. Visualize the zeal chi from bottom to go up and the life chi from the top to go down, and practice it diligently 4 times daily for 7 days. So let me tell you, what is this internal word practice? My guru taught me, don't worry about the Sanskrit syllable, all the different syllables, just use home. How to seal them? You can help other people, which is guidance during the bardo state. The meaning of this guidance during the bardo state is to guide the soul to leave the body through one opening and then to seal the remaining openings. My guru taught me there are 2 syllables. One is ah, one is om, on top of each other. The one that's goes both ways, om, and the one that's like this is ah. Don't use any of this, and don't worry about the Sanskrit syllables. Instead, just use home. That's what my guru taught me. And you invoke Kala Chakra.
soha, Om ha kamana walaya soha, Om ha kamana walaya soha. 这个请来十轮金刚以后啊，这个你的这个食指就变成十轮金刚，然后以十轮金刚的控制。
Once you invoke Kala Chakra, your finger becomes Kala Chakra.
飞出去呢，就是这样子指的。开天门。
And then your finger becomes the home, and all the home syllables would fly.
开天门，闭地府，塞人道，指鬼路，他就叫我这样子念。
To open the gate to the heaven and to seal all the openings to the human world, hell, and all the lower realms. And you point to the apex to open the gate or the opening to heavens. It has to touch that hole at the top of your head. And then second, you close the eyes using home syllables, and the two ears, the two nostrils, the mouth, the navel, and the two holes at the bottom. You seal them using the home syllables.
然后你开了顶窍，你将来这个人的灵魂只有从顶窍。
Once it's only the opening at the apex that's open, then they would leave through that apex, and then they can go to the heavenly realm of no form, or the formless heavenly realm, or even above that, which is our heart, Bodhisattvas, Pratyeka Buddhas, or Buddha. So here it only talks about the formless heavenly realm, but actually it can go even further, higher. So this is called guiding the consciousness during the Bardo state. But this practice you have to do normally every day. So you need to practice this sealing every day. Sealing them every day. Just use home syllable, and you can follow the color. So you seal your eyes, the nostrils, ears, mouth, the navel, the two holes for excretion of poo and pee. Seal them all off. When you experience signs of death, just leave the top one open. And then with the appearance of the Pure Land Trinity, or your main deity, the Yidam, to guide you to be reborn in the Pure Land. So you need to have your Yidam to appear above your head and guide you to the Pure Land. If you have no Yidam appearing, then you go to the formless heavenly realm. But if you have your Yidam appearing, then you can be guided to the Pure Land. Or if you have attainment, you can close all the other openings and except the top, and you can send your own consciousness or soul directly to the Buddha land. And not just the Pure Land, but to attain Buddhahood, to the Buddha land. So for the elderlies, you can do this 9-syllable practice externally and internally. This is an excellent practice. Just use the home syllable to seal the eyes and all the other openings. If there's someone with affinity and Grandmaster happens to be there at their moment of death, I use this index finger and invoke Kala Chakra. And when he descended, I point to the eyes and then open the gate to heaven to block the path to the three lower realms, to the human realms, and the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the navel, and the two holes at the bottom. So the path of the grain and the path of water are all sealed, and then we can let him or her to leave through the apex, the top opening. If I happen to be nearby, I can help that person. But the key is you have to be able to invoke the main deity to help you perform this. Say the 5 herukas or the yidam. Then you would be able to help other beings to make them go directly to the formless heavenly realm or to be guided by the yidams. So isn't this practice wonderful? So now do you understand my explanation? So in your normal practice, you just open the opening at the top of your head and seal the other openings. You can use the syllables as mentioned in the book, or just use home syllable, just use home. So everyone should understand what was expounded today, and that's the key meaning. Xiaoming getting home very anxiously and told his dad, I got 60 in my exam. And then the dad said, next time, if your score is still low, please don't call me dad. And then the next day, Xiaoming called him brother, bro. The wife asked her husband, why? After marriage, you never give me any gifts anymore. You know, in the past, every time I go to Simu's house, I would bring gifts. Every time. Doesn't matter how poor I was, I had to buy something before I go to her house. Before I went to her house. But now, the wife asked the husband, how come after marriage you never give me any gifts anymore? And the husband replied, have you ever seen that you feed baits to the fish that you have already fished, that you already got? And that he was beaten by his wife. So do you still feed the fish that you caught any baits? Of course not. That's a fun joke. This joke is not that funny. It's okay, but I don't want to tell it. When I give a lottery ticket that had won 5 million to an employee, everybody was really expecting. And then the second one was still 5 million. And then the third ticket, like the air stopped. And when I was about to take the fourth ticket, my wife kicked me. It turned out I was in a dream. So this joke was the same as the joke that I told in the past. Someone earned $2 million a month. His salary is $2 million. He told people that, hey, my monthly salary is $2 million. And the people around them was very envious and asked him, what do you do? And he said, I am dreaming. I'm a dreamer. So I found this tantric dharma practice today in Lamdre was extremely useful. And the White Lotus King is also extremely useful. It does not teach you only about life, but also about death. So you are getting ready for death. So you close off all the openings. And if you do this normally, then at the moment of death, you would be able to close off all your openings except one very easily. And you leave one opening to go to the Pure Land and Buddha Land. So this would be the best teaching today. Om Mani Padme Hum.